Hey everybody, Lee from PcjunkieMods. Today we're going to talk about Phil's desk. We're going to be talking about the tubing and the wiring and where I am in the build as of right now. A lot has been done, a lot still to be done. Next step would probably be to fill it up and some sleeving and then some testing and some fun stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's been done. So for starters, on this side over here, it's pretty much still in the same condition, just a little cleaner now. Everything's pretty much wired in except for power because I need to sleeve 24 pin, 8 pin, any visible wires that will get sleeved. The rad grills are screwed on now, so all the fans are actually attached. I also have the hard drive cage, the custom hard drive cage in the back here with all the plugs plugged into it, and the custom power to it is plugged in. As you can see, some cables sticking out back here in the back. These are going to probably be a permanent fixture for Phil. This is just a VGA cable in case he ever needs to get video, and these are USB 2.0 extensions in case he needs to hook up a keyboard and mouse. In the front area there is two USB 3.0s and then a DVD drive, but you know, in case he's using those 3.0 ports, it'd be better off to have the 2.0 extensions as a permanent fixture, and he'll be able to plug in that way. For the most part, I'll just tie those cables up and put them in the back corner. There's a little access panel in the very back corner there, so you can actually pull them out right there. So some other stuff that I did was I went ahead and I put the RAID card in. I cut down the actual fan header on it so it's a lot shorter. That way there's no slack, there's no reason to go through the grommet with it. I tucked away the USB 3.0 plugs were actually the style that plug into the back of the motherboard, which is nice for this setup because of the fact there's not a big bulky plug sticking out of the motherboard here. So they go through, there's a grommet underneath, they go through that grommet, go to the back and plug in. So that pretty much covers this side, I guess. I mean, as you can see, it's just nice and clean and just sitting here. As for this side over here, I did wire in the Aquaero 6 fan controller. It is fully plugged in. All the wires have been wire managed underneath the center area, and all the temp sensors are plugged in. Everything's plugged in. It's all labeled. I'm going to actually make a little diagram in case Phil ever needs to know what is what on the screen, but it's pretty much for my reference, so that way when I set up each temp sensor I can label it as you know, 360 rad temp or 480 rad temp or the overall PC temp, those kind of things. So for the most part, as you can see here, all the water cooling except for 2 tubes in the back are all hooked up. For the most part, we went over the flow a couple times already. It comes out of the pump, it goes to here, it goes through the wall, comes back around, drops into the CPU here, comes out of the CPU. There's another straight piece in the back that comes over to here, drops into the bottom of the radiator, comes out, goes into the video cards, comes back out. It'll go out, drop down. That's one of the tubes that's not plugged in. It'll plug into the bottom of the rad, come out of the bottom of the rad, plug in here, where I actually have a maintenance fill port for fill. This is just to add a little bit of liquid to fill the whole system. Each reservoir does have a 90 with a cap on it. The reason being is Dwight and I actually took these reservoirs into the kitchen, to the sink, and filled all three of them to see what kind of results we would get. And with one reservoir full and the other two semi, not quite full, it has to be equal volume in order for the flow to work properly. So what we had to do is actually fill up all three of them completely in order for the pumps to get primed. So this will be the way that I'm actually going to top all three reservoirs off, and I'll just hook a hose to it or whatever, or just keep adding until it's full. And then for the most part over here, you see there's a drain port here. This is in case for maintenance. You need to drain out all the reservoirs. This seemed like the most logical place to put it because it is the low spot and all that liquid could just flow right down and out. There also is another drain port for the 480 rad in the back. And then we have the Aquaero fan sensor, or the flow sensor here. And I have one of the temp sensors, which is on this reservoir, plugged directly into here. And then it's through the Aqua bus straight over to the fan controller. So that pretty much covers the center area. As you can see, it came out pretty good. I'm happy, Phil's happy. So and then over here, what's next would pretty much be the sleeving, dropping in the hard drives, and plugging everything up, putting in the RAM. That's about it over here, just the sleeving, the RAM, getting the plugs in and putting the hard drives, and that should pretty much finish everything off, because you see there's no 8-pin or 4-pin, 24-pin or the PCI Express. So another thing that's been done is I ran the RGB LEDs all the way around the chassis, pretty much on the back. This will be covered, so this is it's not going to be blinding Phil. I can imagine him sitting here and just blasting him in his face, but that's not going to be happening since there will be a cover over this whole back area. The main reason I went ahead, he paid for all that, so I figured I'd put it in there. And if we ever had to do maintenance, the good thing about the RGB LEDs is they'll be wall plugged, so we can turn the white on and this can light up all the areas so we can do maintenance or look around or whatever if we need to fix something. And then on the sides, as you can see, you can't see it because I tucked it up underneath, but on the front it's blasting out this way, so which makes it for a nice even light all the way through the chassis. In the corner here, you'll see the sensor. So that's the sensor, the box is here, and then it'll have a like a wall charger that comes out the back. We'll plug it right into the wall. So that way the lights can be on at any time. It does have a remote, so it makes for, you know, cool Christmas tree look. So anyway, so yeah, you could do like strobe light, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, so I think that about covers it. In the next video, like I said, we'll be working on some sleeving, hopefully filling the loop on the gaming side, and also I'll be doing some testing and RAID setup for the workstation side. So stay tuned for the next part. Thanks for watching my video. Until next time.